Hey up. Hello guys, welcome to August. Yes, this is August in Britain, and yes, we've been robbed of yet another summer. Anyway, after a few months of travelling south to find weird and quirky and strange traditional festivals, I've decided to stay a bit closer to home this time. In fact, very close to home, because this is Saddleworth. The grey, gloomy Saddleworth on the edge of the Pennine Hills, on the edge of the Peak District. And I've come here today to see a very small localised festival, another one of them small kind of localised traditional festivals, which dates back hundreds of years, but has only really been properly organised within the last 50 or so. Now, I've had quite a busy month this month, so this video is only going to be very short, and it's only a tiny little festival anyway. But I will warn you, it is a very distinctly English festival. And I say that because it includes a lot of Morris dancing and a lot of pulling very silly faces. This is Saddleworth, a collection of small villages nestled in the foothills of the Pennines, about 10 or 15 miles to the northeast of Manchester. Now, traditionally, places like this, the major village of Uppermill, were forgotten rural places that made their living working the land, and in the wool, and then later, the cotton trade. And this is the rush cart, a huge pile of rushes stacked elaborately on an old wooden cart and pulled along the streets of the villages, usually accompanied by a brass band, of course, and a large crowd of people. On the top rides the jockey, a lucky individual chosen to sit atop the mountain of rushes and enjoy the ride with a drink in hand. Every one of them bears a flag, and in recent years those have been individually designed and handcrafted, and bear many a diverse message of positivity, or acknowledging a royal birth, and so on. Every year these are hung in the church to remind everyone of past celebrations. So why the pile of rushes? Why the cart? And why the church? There are several theories to how this tradition came about, but it's known that rushes were very important to places like this before industrialisation. Before many places could afford proper floors of flagstones and matting, rushes were spread on the floor to ward off the damp and the cold. Churches like this one, St Chad's in Uppermill, had their floors covered in rushes at this time of year too. And because they were communal buildings, the event became a community one. This is actually a South Lancashire tradition dating back to the 15th century, one that often invoked a rivalry between participants over who could produce the most elaborate cart. And as usual, this led to fierce competition, and one year as many as 12 rush carts were drawn up to this church. This all usually took place on the second Saturday after the 12th of August, and was a festival drawn out over several days that originally involved lots of drinking. But it brought with it a lot of rivalry that led to fighting and even bloodshed. The tradition got stronger even after the church was properly paved in 1826, but declined towards the end of the century when new mill owners decided that they didn't care about local customs as much, forcing the drinking and the merriment to fall off. The coming of the railways to Saddleworth in 1849 also began the slow movement away from the tradition, as more workers sought to leave the area and holiday somewhere else, for what was originally called Wakes Week. In 1975, the rush cart was revived by the newly formed Saddleworth Morris Men, and has today evolved into a nice traditional celebration that attracts people from far and wide. And as you've no doubt noticed, there's lots of Morris dancing going on too, with Morris groups coming from all over the country. Morris dancing itself is a countrywide folk dance, thought to date back to at least the 15th century too, although it's possibly older than that, and has strong connections with traditional folk dancing in Spain and Italy, and possibly even the Moors of North Africa. It's a traditional dance that involves highly flamboyant costumes, bells, handkerchiefs, wooden batons, or even swords sometimes. And this year there's even a Saddleworth Women's Morris group. In the past, Rush Cart Weekend in Saddleworth has included other similar events, such as wrestling, but one additional event that has always seemed to stick around is the Gurning competition. Anyone can enter this, all you have to do is have an ugly face, or at least the ability to turn yours into one. So there you go, a bit of a mini video this month, but what I think is a quintessential English festival. It's not been the most spectacular festival, I admit, but to be honest, when I was looking at August and looking at weird, unusual festivals in Britain, it was a bit slim pickings. But anyway, next month is September, the traditional harvest month here in Britain. So lots of weird and unusual harvest festivals happening all up and down the country. And it's a time of year which is kind of opposite to spring. Spring, you celebrate new life and new opportunities and the joy of a new world coming to life. And in September, harvest time, there's a horse moving behind me, it'll put me off. In September, it's kind of the opposite. You celebrate what you've accomplished over summer. Well, when it comes to, you know, gathering the harvest. But alas, there won't be a video next month because next month is September and it's my birthday, and it's kind of a big birthday for me. I know, I'm 21 again. So yeah, I'm doing a bit of traveling, so I don't have time to go to a festival and edit a video next month. So unfortunately, you won't get to see one. But have no fear, I will be back in October and I will find the weirdest festival I can possibly find somewhere in Britain, and I will go to it and make a video about it. Because I've started this thing now, I can't stop. It'd be weird, it'd mess with my OCD if I just stopped this whole thing. I don't have OCD, it's fine. So yeah, no video in September. There will be one in October. And please, feel free to celebrate my birthday if you want. It's in the middle of the month. And yeah, why not? I'm a bit weird and quirky. I'm definitely a bit frazzled around the edges. But anyway, thanks for watching this video. Hope you have a good one, and I'll catch you later wherever I end up. Bye.